that nobody would want to be in plural marriage. I'm like, oh my goodness, was this part of the whole plan? And yet it's just heartbreaking to her when the reality finally hits right in front of her.
Did anyone else catch that? During the whole girls going to church chat on the deck, Aurora was playing this bizarre game of eye tag between Robyn and Kody, like she was trying to figure out the safe level of honesty to share. As if she was mentally calculating what might get her kicked off the island if she said too much. Kody's over there thinking they're all being open and honest with him, but I'm just watching Aurora, who looks like she's about to break into a sweat any second, carefully choosing every word like it's a landmine. Honestly, their interactions are so forced and uncomfortable, it's like watching a bad soap opera. Nothing like the genuine, natural moments you get with the original family members. It's pretty clear they've figured out how Kody operates. Toe the line, or he'll drop you faster than you can blink. They've learned to keep their heads down, like they're walking on eggshells, because they've realized that without him, they've got nothing. They're like deer caught in headlights, totally convinced they can't make it without Kody's love. But here's the kicker. That love is as conditional as it gets. Obey him, worship him, treat him like the king he thinks he is, and you're golden. The second you show even the slightest bit of disagreement, out you go, no questions asked, and good luck with that survival thing. It's honestly shocking to see how Robyn and Kody have set their older girls up to be ripe targets for manipulative assholes. And let's talk about that whole daddy thing with Robyn's little girls. Seriously, how messed up is it to have those girls call him daddy so early on? That's the kind of move that makes my skin crawl. There is no world where I'd introduce my daughter to another man so quickly, let alone force a daddy's little girl bond with him if my husband and I were splitting up. Hell no. Robyn has basically spent their entire lives making them vulnerable and dependent on Kody, and they don't have the skills or knowledge to even question it. Oh, and Kody? Yeah, he usually adopts this creepy, overly cheery voice around Robyn's kids. It's like he's putting on a show for them, and let's be real, it's straight up weird. I think Robyn's used those kids as a training ground for Kody. He knows he can't speak harshly to them because it'll set off some panic attack storm, so now he's all sugar and sweetness, pretending to be a model father figure. It's becoming more obvious by the day that any scene with Robyn is 100% scripted. The girls are basically reading from a manual, trying to hit all the right notes. They're clearly nervous, and who can blame them? The pressure is insane. Robyn's in their ears constantly, reminding them how important it is to make their family look good and Christian. I mean, how could they possibly relax when the weight of the world is on their shoulders like that? We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel Reality Nexus X. Let's not talk about looks, folks. We're better than that. Oh really? You might be, but I never said I was. So seriously, when did Robyn's head turn into a Lego piece? Was that always a thing, or has it just become impossible to ignore now? There's been a lot of talk about whether she wears dentures, and honestly, no shame in that. Plenty of people end up with less than ideal dental genetics. Teeth age, nerves die, it happens. But if she's had a lot of extractions, that'll change your face, even if the dentures are in place. Trust me, I know. Age does that to everyone. I get a daily reminder when I look in the mirror. I think it's a mix of thyroid issues, too many dental procedures, and the absolute misery of not spending her golden years on a porch with the sister wives she definitely didn't enjoy sharing her life with. Why shouldn't human suffering look like a Lego figure head, right? Robyn really managed to kill the vibe on moving day. I just watched the episode where Kody helps Meri move, and wow, it was going fine. Everyone was laughing, joking, and having a good time, until Robyn showed up. And let me tell you, it was like the air was sucked out of the room. You could practically hear the mood shift when she arrived, all pouty and brooding. It was so awkward, especially in the truck. The three of them were having fun, but as soon as Robyn got in, it all went silent. She's like a walking dark cloud, which is honestly kind of impressive in how consistently miserable she can be. I can't imagine what it must be like to be around her all the time. Watching this also got me thinking, could Robyn's constant bad moods and tears be part of what's made Kody such a grumpy, insufferable version of himself as the years have gone on? Not that I'm saying it's entirely her fault, but you can't help but pick up on the negative energy from the people you spend the most time with. It's been a while since I've watched the earlier seasons, so I can't really compare, but it's worth wondering. Anyway, Robyn absolutely destroyed the vibe every single day. There, I said it. And while I do think Meri was putting on a bit of a show with the "I'm so over it" act, hello, t-shirt and way too much laughing, I don't think she's actually over Kody. But Robyn, she's just a lazy buzzkill trying to force herself into a story that no one really needs her in. Kody's behavior is just infuriating, especially watching how he pressures Meri about having another child. I'm halfway through season 5, and I'm absolutely appalled by how much he's pushing her to make a decision about whether to try for another baby. Remember when he said it was up to the wives how many kids they had? That was a total lie. Now he's practically forcing her into IVF or surrogacy, making her cry every time the topic comes up, and acting like a petulant child because she won't give him a quick answer. It's beyond frustrating. Why on earth is he trying to push his middle-aged wife into a high-risk pregnancy? After decades of raising kids, wouldn't it make sense that she might want to wind down that part of her life? But no, Kody doesn't get that. He's got 17 kids already, and a new wife who's eager for more. But they can barely afford what they already have. What is he even thinking? To make matters worse, he's completely insensitive to how traumatic this decision is for her, especially considering the miscarriage and infertility struggles she's already endured. He's essentially forcing her to relive all of that. It's cruel, selfish, and thoughtless. And let's not forget how all of this is just a storyline for the show. They weren't even really in a relationship. The worst part? It's coming out now that Kody hasn't been intimate with Meri since the show started. That's probably why he thought Christine would just accept the same thing, because Meri did it for years. Kody's a piece of work. Let's talk about how calling it a catfish incident was the perfect way for everyone to avoid dealing with the real issues. I'm making my way through season 12, and it's clear the wives absolutely shot themselves in the foot with that one. When Maddie has her baby, and they're trying to figure out why no one felt the slightest urge to get Meri involved, guess what? No one can explain why. So what do? Janelle, in classic form, steps up to gaslight Meri into believing it's all her fault. Then there's Christine, bless her heart, who's the only one even remotely brave enough to speak some truth, even if it's a bit messy. She awkwardly admits that Meri comes with baggage. Yeah, we all know what they mean, the affair, and to be fair, it gave Kody the perfect excuse to cut ties with Meri, morally high ground secured. But on camera? Oh no, we're supposed to pretend it's all about Meri being duped by some fake friend. Let's not kid ourselves. Meri had every intention of leaving the family after the whole affair thing, but plot twist, it turned out to be a scam. So instead, the family's stuck in this awkward limbo, managing a member who doesn't even want to be there. And what's their solution? Don't talk about it at all. Makes total sense, right? Honestly, the one time Kody might have actually been right was when he said something like, "It sounds like she wanted to leave me, but not the family." Yep, that actually tracks. And don't even get me started on the 5 therapy sessions about Maddie's birth. 5 therapy sessions. Meri's the only one still clinging to it. And the therapist points that out. But Janelle just wants to move on already. It was supposed to be a happy occasion, but no one could stop rehashing how miserable it was for Meri. They went on about how Meri was invited over several times for the birth, but kept leaving for her valid reasons, while everyone else left and came back without any drama. But Meri, she felt she needed yet another invitation to feel truly wanted. Sure, Maddie changed her mind about how many people she wanted there. We get it, we've all been there, and Meri got her invite. But let's not forget, it was Meri's own hesitation and her weird need for an extra invitation that kept the whole thing dragging on. Christine's clumsy attempt to talk to Meri wasn't some noble gesture. It came because Meri literally asked for it. "You keep asking," Christine starts, "so here it is." The whole mess wasn't about the catfishing at all. It was about how Meri handles conflict. She wants to talk, but the second someone actually does talk to her, she shuts down or walks off like it's some kind of emotional exit strategy. Can we get a Janelle, Meri, and Christine spin-off? Oh, absolutely, because nothing says refreshing like watching the same trio we all love, without the one who has somehow convinced us he's the master of manipulation and gaslighting. What could be better than watching these three strong, independent women? Without Kody hovering around like the dramatic villain in a soap opera. A spin-off would be so much fun, because who doesn't love endless drama and watching the aftermath of years of emotional abuse? But wait, absolutely not. Let's be real here. The entire family needs to pack up and leave reality TV pronto. They were never honest with us, and let's not pretend they were this picture-perfect happy family. The whole thing was a carefully crafted act, fake storylines, not-so-hidden manipulation, and a whole lot of verbal and emotional abuse. As for the OG three wives, yeah, they're really just as amazing with their kids as Kody&Robyn are with theirs. Total parenting goals, right? So here's my theory on the whole church shopping drama. Now that the wives are out of the picture, Robyn and Kody are scrambling to pretend like they're still working for a paycheck. Personally, I think the whole church hopping thing is completely staged, but hey, that's just my take. Why did Robyn tag along with Brianna and Aurora? Oh, I've got a theory. She doesn't trust those girls to be alone with the cameras. You know, Redditors have pointed out how the girls keep glancing around while Kody&Robyn are on the porch, and some think it's a Kody thing. But I think the real reason is much simpler. They've probably been told to act like everything is perfect in the McMansion, like they're living in a fairy tale, so nothing slips out on camera. Robyn and Kody are micromanaging every little interaction to keep up the illusion that their happy family is the real deal. Spoiler alert, Kody&Robyn. Nobody's buying it. The McMansion is far from perfect. But back to Robyn. Let's be real here. The only reason she went along with the girls is because she's a classic helicopter parent. She has to be involved in every single decision they make, just like when those random trolls decided to follow Dayton to Flagstaff. Remember when Dayton was basically living in an RV parked in their driveway? Yeah, that was Robyn's idea of being supportive. Look, the girls have gone to public school, and now they're in college. They've got access to the real world and social media, and Robyn can't control that. It's got to be driving her nuts. Kody's grammar, a masterclass in avoiding responsibility. I've been rewatching Sister Wives Season 16, Episode 10, and I've finally cracked what's been bugging me about Kody's response to finding his boxed-up belongings in Christine's garage. His obsessive use of passive voice. Sure, we all sprinkle in a bit of passive voice here and there, but Kody takes it to a whole new level. This isn't just a grammar quirk, it's a psychological tell. Passive voice is like the language of someone who's either evading responsibility or desperately playing the victim. To understand why it's so telling, let's break down the context. After installing a door to their loft bedroom, Kody has essentially checked out of his physical relationship with Christine. In an earlier season, he told their therapist, "When you don't have trust, you don't have intimacy." And what became apparent to Christine was the lack of intimacy. Translation: Christine is the reason they don't have a physical relationship, because she's not trustworthy. In Kody speak, I'm pretty sure trustworthy is a euphemism for obedient and compliant. Now let's get to the juicy part, his garage meltdown. It's a masterclass in deflecting responsibility. The weirdest thing just happened. I guess I have been moved out of the house. Later he repeats, so I have been moved out of my house. Yes, moved out, like he had nothing to do with it. Poor Kody, the victim of mysterious forces beyond his control. I am having a hard time not being frustrated by this. The subtle genius of passive voice at work. Kody's frustration is an external force, not something he's actually responsible for feeling. He's trying to rise above his emotions, you see. To be fair, Christine isn't exactly blameless in the passive voice department, but Kody's the true champion of obfuscation here. When talking about packing up his things, she says, now that we are here, and now that Kody isn't sleeping here anymore, he is going to see that his stuff isn't here, and then I guess he'll find out. This phrasing glosses over the fact that she packed up his things without discussing it with him first. Maybe she was trying to protect the kids, maybe she needed space to process, or maybe it was just an act of quiet rebellion. Who knows? Christine was clearly struggling with how to handle the situation, and the passive language reflects that. But in her defense, earlier in the episode, Kody admitted that Christine had told him he couldn't sleep in her bed anymore. He brushed it off as a phase or a game and acted like it was just a temporary bump in the road. He even claimed that she murdered their intimacy with her betrayal. So when Christine went full steam ahead and moved his stuff, she was probably saying, no, this is real. It's not a phase anymore. You're not sleeping here, and you're not coming back into my private space. And that move was as clear as a punch in the gut. Kody, however, would rather lie to the camera and to himself. He says he doesn't know how he feels, but then immediately contradicts himself with, I am not angry. I don't know why, but I am ambivalent. I almost don't care. I am not bothered by this. Sure, Kody. Your body language and tone scream, I'm fine, not. Despite his protestations, the truth is clear. Kody is angry. His ego has taken a hit, and now he's scrambling to rewrite history and distance himself from any fault. He can blame coronavirus or the supposed disloyalty of his wives, but he's blind to his own role in the collapse of his relationships. And that love of passive voice, it makes his unwillingness to own up to his behavior painfully obvious. Kody does have one moment of brutal honesty in this episode, but even that gets buried in passive voice. He says, some kind of relief from the burden and the woe of a loveless marriage, and the fear of the culpability for my behavior and my actions, and the things I have done wrong in this that have led to this point. It's a jumble of words meant to obscure the real issue. He doesn't want to publicly take responsibility for the breakdown of his marriage. Too bad the passive voice can't hide everything. Bottom line, Kody's grammar isn't just a linguistic quirk, it's a red flag. When people constantly hide behind passive voice and convoluted phrasing, it's often because they don't want to own their actions. It's a clever trick to make the world believe the problem is out of their hands. Grammar matters, so the next time Kody starts speaking in passive voice, pay close attention. There's always a hidden truth lurking beneath those carefully chosen words. Okay, so I'm doing a rewatch, and here's my thing. I'm not obsessed with Meri, but I don't hate her either. Honestly, I feel like she's just been manipulated left and right. Meanwhile, I love Christine and Janelle. Those two are great. But what is with the outrage over Meri missing Axel's birth? Seriously, what's the big deal? They had multiple therapy sessions about it. Really? Was there some behind-the-scenes drama I missed? Because this seems like a massive overreaction. And let's talk about Robyn for a minute. She'll side with whoever's winning that day. When Meri bought the B&B, she told Robyn first. Then, when Janelle and Christine got upset about it, Robyn, out of nowhere, is suddenly hurt because she thought she was part of Meri's dream too. Like, girl, pick a lane. Now, I love Christine, but if I were Meri, Christine would have gotten a swift pop to the mouth when she started going on about bringing baggage around. Honey, look in the mirror. You've got your own baggage. Okay, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. And now for some of the actual facts. Maddie had a birth plan. All the parents knew. The whole purpose of a birth plan is that when you're in active labor, you don't want to be making decisions about who's hanging out in the room. That's way too much stress and anxiety. You need to focus on the labor. But surprise, surprise, Christine openly admitted she deliberately tried to go against that plan. Great job, Christine. Way to respect boundaries. And don't even get me started on Janelle. She didn't advocate for Maddie at all. Not even a little bit. Then there's Meri, who pops her head in, assuming everyone's left as per Maddie's wishes. But nope. Turns out they didn't leave. Meri, naturally, was hurt when the plan changed, and no one bothered to tell her. She's right to feel that way. Now Robyn? She says they didn't call Meri because they didn't want to risk getting kicked out. Robyn and Christine both knew they were breaking the rules and should have been gone. And then Meri requests therapy, because that's what adults do to work through issues, right? But Christine? She waits until after the therapy session, and on camera, no less, to tell Meri that no one likes her. Oh, the timing. Real mature. And if Maddie really hated Meri that much, then why in the world would she choose to work with her during her pregnancy? Wouldn't that just be awkward? Seriously, what's the big deal? No one's stopping them from going to church. Just go. Is it all just for the drama and something to film? Crying about it with Kody afterward is just bizarre. If you want to go to church, just go and leave the theatrics at the door. And please, can we stop listening to Robyn talk about how confused she is now that the porch dream is a bust? It's getting old. And let's be real, 99% of Mormonism is just one group claiming to be the one true church. You've got mainstream Mormons, FLDS, AUB, you name it, they all think they're the chosen ones. If you've spent your whole life convinced that your church is the only one that gets it right, then yeah, you'd probably be a little paranoid about anyone else trying to share their message. It's all part of the charm. Mormonism thrives on a cocktail of brainwashing and fear. That's the real secret sauce that keeps it all running. Does Robyn have any idea she's the villain of the show? Honestly, sometimes I wonder if she and even her kids are fully aware that the entire audience can't stand them. Like, does Robyn really think we're all on her side? Because, spoiler alert, we're not. We don't believe her version of events, and it's hard to imagine anyone outside of Kody genuinely liking her. Does she have any friends, or is she just living in a bubble of delusion, imagining a perfect life with sister wives who actually want to be around her? I can't help but wonder, does it bother her that pretty much everyone watching finds her incredibly grating? For someone like Robyn, that's probably a tough pill to swallow. A new crying wife. Well, at least this season has a bit of spice with the introduction of Meri's friends. Finally, something to make it all less of a snooze fest. Did anyone else crack up when one of Meri's friends mentioned Robyn crying and joked that Robyn might get jealous if Kody found a new wife who cried more than she does? I can't remember the exact words, but it was gold. It was so funny because, honestly, I thought the whole crying thing was just something we Reddit folks noticed. But hey, guess it's not just us, huh? I am living for Meri and her friends. Seriously, someone get us a Meri and Friends rewatch show where they can dish about past episodes. Let the snark flow freely, please. Honestly though, Meri deserves to share her side of the story if she wants to. She's been in this mess for decades, and it's about time she gets to set the record straight. Too many people have made assumptions about her, and she's never had the chance to clear the air. Everyone else has been telling their version of her life, so why not let her tell hers? Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.